What is going down, everyone? It's time for Mojobreak.com, The Hype, episode 325. We are chock full of new releases for the week. We've got some big bangers, as they say in the hobby. We've got Immaculate 22-23 and the high-end baseball 2023 Diamond Icons. We've also got some stuff happening in the hobby. We've got UFC's back with tops. We have some autograph issues that players are not signing, so we're going to discuss that and more on this episode of The Hype. After this NFC Championship victory for me, you can see I'm wearing the shirt if you're watching the video. I want to give something back to you guys and show my appreciation for our customers that use Mojobreak.com. I'm going to give you $25 off any purchase over 100. So use code 49ers. There's only 49 chances to use this in the next week. So you can only use it once per customer. So if you're going to buy a team over $100, use code 49ers, and that's going to save you $25. I want to say my appreciation. Help me celebrate the NFC Championship victory onto the Super Bowl where we take down Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce, all that other stuff and more. But save $25 on Mojobreak.com where we're breaking Immaculate, where we're breaking Diamond Icons, where we've got Prism around the corner, Prism basketball. So get in on it right now. Guys, how excited are you guys about this Super Bowl matchup coming up?
Well, I'm pretty excited. We're 2 weeks away, maybe 3 weeks away from the Daytona 500.
There it is.
NASCAR is the real sport, and I'm just excited football season's over.
And I'm excited for the third week of February where we get All-Star Basketball Weekend.
It will be good.
I mean, 3-point competition, that's fun.
It's going to be great. What's it going to be like to have champagne in your guys' locker room?
True.
From either the Chiefs or the Niners? Somebody's going to, hopefully it's in the visitor locker room, which I guess, actually, that'd be more of a chance for you to go for the Niners because the Niners are going to be in the visitor locker room.
Calm down. You win by default because I hate the Kansas City Chiefs so much.
I wouldn't go that far. I mean, maybe they should move it to like UNLV or something. Have them play the game.
Sure. Yeah.
I agree.
Or maybe just in the parking lot.
Some backyard football.
Yeah, get out.
Wherever you want to do it.
Get
That's all. Hey, whatever. The count's the same. You play it in the backyard. You play it at Allegiant Stadium. It counts the same. So I don't care.
Counts the same.
Maybe it won't. Maybe
that's what you're holding on to at this point.
Maybe
they have to move it, and maybe they go. You know what? This doesn't count.
Maybe it'll be like a half a Super Bowl victory for either team.
I don't know if this was on purpose too. That Dan is wearing his Super Bowl champion sweater. If you're watching the video, as Doug is wearing the conference champs.
I don't have a lot of time to keep on wearing this, but I just want to wear something because you guys don't have this.
Not yet. I mean,
they're
old. They're old.
You don't. Well, Cody, you're born what year again?
I was born in 1990.
Okay,
I do not remember that championship.
Yeah, you're 4 years old.
I don't. Look, actually, you know what's fun? You know what? I actually today this week I saw my I was doing some laundry and I went, oh, look at this, my old Quest for 6 rally towel from the 2012 playoffs. Since then, the quest for 3 and 5 for the Giants has ended. The quest for 4 championships for the Warriors has happened. This quest for 6 has been going on a long time.
Kind of sounds like you've just been spoiled living in the Bay Area, so you don't need it. You don't need 6.
Well, it'd be nice to have 6. Again, it's been going on for a long time. That quest for 6.
I got a 2-part question for you guys, and is it time to sell Brock Purdy? And where do you rank Brock Purdy as an active quarterback as we stand?
Let's get it out of the way.
We need to be done with this.
Let's get it out of our system.
I dropped it at the top of the show.
I am so tired of talking about Brock Purdy. Who cares what other teams think of your quarterback?
I'm trying to give our hobby
we went pretty long with
some knowledge because I've been already getting the question. I've already been getting the question. Is it time to sell Brock?
There was a conversation last night in the shop, and I was basically asked by one of our shipping guys, do you think Brock Purdy is an elite quarterback? And I'm like,
no,
not elite. Okay. Then I was asked, well, who do you think Kirk Cousins would bring the Niners to the Super Bowl if Kirk Cousins was on the Niners? And I'm all, absolutely. Absolutely.
100%.
And it's not that funny.
Doug's the only one laughing.
It's not that funny. It is it's actually
legit.
It's actually common sense.
Yeah.
Well, he did something that nobody's done in history in that second
There
half.
is zero. Here's what I'll say. And this is from me, certified Kirk Cousins hater, trademark, LLC, whatever you want to say.
Cousins is the most underrated quarterback.
Kirk
in the world.
Cousins is the classic stand-up. Like, he is what quarterbacks were 25 years ago.
Your daddy's
30 years
quarterback.
ago.
Your daddy's quarterback.
Those runs that Brock Purdy did, multiple runs that extended the game, that saved that game, Kirk Cousins would have, there's no way in hell Kirk Cousins would have made those plays. Absolutely zero chance Kirk Cousins makes those plays with his feet. Brock Purdy
for
does.
sure.
Yes!
Yeah, I don't know.
I have seen it. I have seen Kirk Cousins play football.
Okay. So
No.
if Kirk Cousins is the 49ers quarterback, are you guys in the same position you are right now?
I don't know.
No.
I don't know.
No, Doug's like, no.
Because, again, I'm a certified Kirk Cousins hater, so I can't admit
I mean,
that.
it's not like I'm saying Tim Rattay.
So nobody's.
Oh, well, now let's not go disparaging the good name of Tim
these
Rattay now.
These
Okay.
stats I'm going to throw out here. This has not happened in 30 years in any NFL game. A quarterback in one half, in the second half, throw for 150 plus yards, rushed for 45 plus yards, completed 80% of his passes, averaged 10 yards a rush, and had 0 turnovers. Hasn't happened in 30 years in the NFL. So I don't know what more you need to say that he's elite, because that is an elite
He
stat.
looked like in the first half.
He did.
And he looked elite in the second half when it mattered.
Well, I mean, so elite and looking like shit puts you right in the middle of just mediocrity.
That puts you in Brett Favre conversation right there. It's what it does. The old gunslinger. He had a lot of old gunslinger moments where he threw some up where it was like, and again, I'm not saying this as like, I'm not saying this puts him in the top 5. I'm just saying that's what he looked like. He had moments where he went, "Oh dear God, what are you doing?" And then throws where you're like, "How did he do that? How did he? Why? How is this? Who is this guy?"
I need to see your Broximus Purtis win this Super Bowl game against Patty Mahomes.
Sure.
And then I will make one more judgment on him. Depending on how this Super Bowl
Yeah,
game
but if
goes.
it's like if he has 200 yards and 1 touchdown, but CMC has 150, it's gonna be like, well, it's good that he has CMC.
Again, same conversation over here. I was like, I'm like, well, at some point, like, Brock Purdy's going to have to get paid, right? At some point, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Somebody here was like, oh, he's going to be on the Niners for at least, like, another decade. And I'm all, how? And then they're like, we're going to basically give Ayuk his money, and we're going to do this, and we're going to do that, we're going to do this, we're going to pay everybody. I'm all, how? How is this going to happen? You're telling me there's not going to be one starter that is currently on the Niners that is going to be a cap casualty in the offseason?
Well, Chase Young for sure, but
Chase Young is does not count because he's a free agent.
They got some smart guys in that organization that figure out math. So I mean, they can figure out the math. I can't figure out the math, but they'll figure out the math. Don't worry about it.
The Parag Marate. He's not let us down before. The man knows that man knows a salary cap.
I got to see one more game because
That's fair.
I'm going to put it like this. Okay. I freaking hate both teams. You guys know this. But beating Patrick Mahomes, and you guys as Niner fans know this is tough. This is a tall order here. Okay. I just saw it on ESPN, so I guess somebody asked Tom Brady if he's worried about Patrick Mahomes with the GOAT status and all this. It's like, bro, the only person that has beaten Patrick Mahomes is Thomas Brady.
And Joe Burrow, but yes.
Right.
I mean, in the Super Bowl.
In the Super Bowl.
I'm talking about nobody has taken him out in the Super Bowl except Tom Brady.
I got
Tom Brady.
And that conversation is ludicrous on a side note of comparing Patrick Mahomes to Tom Brady because there's a lot more years.
How? He's on the same pace. He's on a better pace.
7-3 is pretty far.
I got one.
But
I got
no, wait a minute.
I got something for you guys that's going to blow your mind.
We're talking pace. That's all.
All right, in the Super Bowl, it's like 78% of the teams that have worn white.
Yeah, I know.
In the
15
Super Bowl?
out of 18 last year's.
Yeah, 15 out of 18. You know the last team to wear white and lose?
I know it's the Niners.
The 49ers against the Kansas City Chiefs.
Sure. Yeah. Wish it was reversed. I'm not a superstitious guy, but I wish it was reversed. Patrick Mahomes is horrifying. Patrick Mahomes is horrifying.
No, you guys are going to lose.
This is by all.
But you got there, so that's cool.
By all analytics, by all the breakdowns, the 49ers. Here's the thing. I think we can all agree on this. Take your bias out of it. The San Francisco 49ers, the full roster, is a better team than the Kansas City Chiefs, and yet I still am shaking in my boots at the idea of playing Patrick Mahomes. I don't care who he's throwing to. He could get 2 receivers from Shane's Bay Area Panthers, and I will still be horrified at the idea of playing Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl. I don't care who he's got.
I just bring that up because it took the GOAT to beat Patrick Mahomes. So,
and you can even chalk that up to being like, that's a moment where he learns there because he's young, and hey, you beat the GOAT on the way out. Hey, that's not a bad loss.
And that's the thing that Brady...
That loss is not going to look bad in 20 years.
You say Patty Mahomes is on a better pace than Brady. Okay, cool. Say they say that he catches up to Brady. Just saying. Brady can still always have that, and then
that he beat
Mahomes
him.
will
Right.
Mahomes will never get that from Brady.
Right.
And Brady did not take hits. I can't imagine Patrick Mahomes playing until he's 45. I can't see it.
I'll tell you this though, Mahomes gets this one. He's on the Mount Rushmore of greatest quarterbacks.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think he's already there. I'll put it out there. I think he's there.
Three championships kind of cements him into that Mount Rushmore.
No question.
I hate that guy, dude.
So I mean, back to the question: Are you guys?
This is like 3 years ago. This is my worst case scenario.
For collectors.
For collectors. Okay, yes.
Are you selling Brock Purdy at this moment, right now?
Yes.
Yes.
Or are you going to wait until after the Super Bowl?
Wait. I mean,
I'm selling.
I think it's too risky to wait.
If you're waiting, it means you think the Niners are winning the Super Bowl.
But I don't know how much his card prices are going to go up if he does win.
Pretty considerably.
Because they're already super high. So how much can they really go up?
Let's say he does exactly what he did in the last game. God forbid for my heart.
And hopefully,
God forbid for my blood
what
pressure.
He put together in the first half, he can put that together for a 4 quarters.
Well, let's not go. Come on now. Let's not speak ill of this child, of this man.
Well, what's funny is if we had this situation, it was Stafford, you'd be like, a dub's a dub, a dub's a dub.
No. But I've said it. A win's a win. I've said it a million times. Like I'm not saying anything about. I'm not saying you guys lost the game or you guys should have lost the game. I'm saying you guys did get lucky winning those games.
Sure.
But a win, you guys are
luck
there.
Luck is part of it.
You guys are there, but yeah, you got to get lucky to have a run.
Absolutely. For every single title contender in the history of sports, other than a very small few exceptions, have had to get lucky.
Except the perfect.
And I also don't give a shit if you like my quarterback either. That's also the thing. I don't care what people think about Matt Stafford.
But now Matt Stafford's never been a question mark of how good he is. It's never brought.
I think a lot of people have brought that up before. I think
probably during his time with the Lions, mostly.
Oh yeah.
No, it was all. Well, they need to get Matt Stafford more than just Calvin Johnson. They've never had a running back. They don't have a line like Matt Stafford's out there struggling because of that.
Matt Stafford was traded because Matt Stafford, the Lions brass was like Matt Stafford can't get the job done.
He can't get it done. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So sell. What are you selling?
I don't know. My heart says no, but my brain says yes.
Yeah, I mean, if I wasn't a Niner fan, I would sell.
I mean, I was going to say my hypothetical is, let's say he has the exact same game he has last game, where he has this awful first half, second half where things go his way, the numbers look amazing at the end, he leads them in a comeback victory. Like, no question his cards go up. There's no question in my mind. Does it go up enough to justify it? I am the type of person who doesn't like losing $100 in Vegas, let alone $5 in Vegas. So I'm going to say I'd sell now.
But But if they lose, how much does his cards really go down?
Right.
Like
it doesn't go down that much.
That's also the thing. Like I don't think the risk is worth the reward of holding off.
He has to have a performance like he did against the Ravens in the Super Bowl.
Well, for
his cards to go down.
Yeah,
but I still don't think they go down.
No, they don't. I don't think they do.
I honestly don't think they go up that much because you know how this industry is, and this is the name of the show. It's the hype. The hype right now of what he could do is usually outseeds when he actually completes the task, right? Like Aaron Judge, I sold Aaron Judge for more while he was leading up to break the home run record or
than the actual record,
once it happens. So it's
I kind of feel like football, very specifically for football, and basketball and baseball are not the same way. Football, we talk about it, right? Championships do matter a little bit more in football, obviously.
Yes.
Way more than they do in baseball specifically. Basketball, it matters just as well. Baseball, like the least, it doesn't matter as much. But yeah, if he wins, I feel like if he wins his first championship, Super Bowl, maybe like not that big of a spike, like you guys are kind of alluding to. Maybe it stays flat or whatever. But, if he can do it again, then for sure it's going to go up.
And take away all of the narratives that we've built up around this guy in the last couple of years. If I told you 2 years ago, hey, there's going to be a quarterback from this rookie class who in 2 years is going to lead their team to a Super Bowl victory in year 2. And they're going to be drafted low in the round. You'd be like, wow, that is going to be the biggest chase in this hobby. That is going to be the number one guy we're all chasing. We would all think that.
Yep.
But because, whatever reason, and frankly, he is one of the biggest, but I think we do have to take a step back.
But you can still, without even looking at the data, I'm sure Josh Allen is still selling more than Purdy is. Burrow's probably selling more than Purdy is.
Yeah.
Guys that have, Burrow's been to a Super Bowl, but, like Josh Allen hasn't. So, but still people love Josh Allen and believe in Josh Allen. And I'm not saying I don't, but he's got to show up sometime now. He's got to be able to beat the Chiefs. Got to get past that.
That probably goes to the point of
but here's the thing. Like, it's going to the season's whatever happens, the season's going to end, and then from a hobby standpoint, everybody's going to look into the next draft class
and speculate.
And then the focus is going to be on the Caleb Williams and Michael Penix and Drake May and all those guys. Brock Purdy cards are still going to be high. But the eyeballs are not going to be going back in 2022 looking for Brock Purdy cards. Right. It's going to be, I'm focusing on the new crop.
A week
of guys.
after the Super Bowl, the attention will shift.
Yeah, and if Brock Purdy does win, you have to sell literally right after the Super Bowl.
The moment the confetti's
because
being
it is going. It is after you're going to get less eyeballs on it. People are going to move on to the new rookie class, and I'm not going to say it's going to plummet. But it definitely isn't going to be going up.
Well, let's get into some new release talk, guys. Diamond Icons. So we got 2 high-end releases of 2 different sports coming out this week. We got 2022-23 Immaculate, which is Chet, Paolo, Shaden Sharp, these guys. And we have Diamond Icons, which is still the same rookie class of Corbin Carroll, Gunnar Henderson, plus a largely vet base. You can chase Babe Ruth, Roberto Clemente, Lou Gehrig. All these names are in there for cuts. I want to pose a question because these all are more than likely going to be digested 90% in breaks. Why is and Diamond Icons has the batter logo man, right? The silhouette MLB logo, and Immaculate has the logo mans. There's a big disparity in price point from the NBA logo man to the MLB logo man. Why do you guys think that is? And whoever wants to do this.
Me personally, I just think the logo is cooler. I just think it looks better.
I think it's
vertical.
I think the basketball logo it's a lot more iconic, and I think it's just been. I think it's just been used more in marketing. I mean, pretty much our whole life. I think we've associated that logo with basketball, where baseball hasn't really done the same.
And
thing.
Scarcity.
Yeah,
they do it in a lot more products in baseball.
Not really, though. I don't think so.
But no, I'm just saying, like,
I could name at least.
I know it's definitive Diamond Icons.
They'll even put it in stuff like Tier 1.
Not anymore. Maybe more Bat Rally.
5-star. Dynasty.
I think it's really as simple as the orientation of the card, like a vertical card versus a horizontal card. How many of these types of MLB? I'm trying to think off the top of my head. Is there any MLB logo patch cards that are vertical orientation instead of horizontal?
I don't know. No.
I think that's part of it too. But it seems like a small thing.
It's more of the way the logo's made too.
Right, exactly. It has to be that way. You could do it with cap patches, though. It's small enough that you could fit that onto that type of card.
Yeah, you don't see many cap patches. It's the back of the jersey.
Right, which are a lot bigger, and you have to put it on that type of card. Maybe if they shift to baseball caps, but... Yeah, I know. I mean, hell, we saw it on the Giants for years. There's a lot of guys who don't want to give up those caps. They don't want to give up. Like, Tim Lincecum wore the same hat for probably about 5 straight years.
I mean, my opinion maybe is like the, Exquisite brand kind of started the whole logo man kind of thing back a while ago, right? And I don't think baseball ever had like that. Everybody was chasing Bowman and Topps Chrome.
Yeah, they never thought to be like.
They never really made it the forefront type of chase.
Right.
And basketball's been doing it for like 10 plus years now.
Right.
So maybe that's it. But, you see a disparity, and it's just as rare. So, and, baseball is baseball. So baseball cards, it's like Coca-Cola, right? It's not basketball cards. So it's just, I know basketball is more international, but I think I like all your points where it's like it could be the look, the vertical design, I think plays into it, and just maybe the international market on how these look. But I mean, they're all fun to chase regardless.
I think baseball collectors have been conditioned to go after autos first from Bowman, where the very first thing you can collect, it's an auto. That is the number. So you as a collector are immediately like, the number one thing I can get is the first Bowman auto. It's not a patch. It's not that. They're trying, and we talked about with the MLB debut patch, they're trying to change that up a little bit, but when it's kind of ingrained in collectors, like you start with the auto, and so that's kind of the thing you're always.
And what do you think about when you compare the three sports? Let's just compare these three: baseball, basketball, and football. Where's the most autographs getting signed at the game? Which sport?
It's a baseball game,
right?
I would say.
Right. So it's like the on-card auto, right? People are bringing their old baseball cards or their base cards now, and we've all seen them on eBay, or we have some in our collection where you got a Steve Avery. You're at the game, you got Steve Avery to sign your card. I feel like there's definitely not that much in football because these guys are in pads, they got gloves on, and then basketball, there's just there's not a lot of accessibility, right? Yeah. So maybe that's it as well. So, but what do you think about this year's Immaculate and the class? Being that it's still kind of last year's class, how do you think it's going to be perceived, C-Rad?
I think there's still high demand for these rookies because they're performing well, right? Well into their second season, obviously. And a lot of them are still playing as well as they did their rookie season, which is not always the case. We've seen over the years where a product comes out super late, but the rookies are just not doing as well as they did their rookie season, right? And it happens, but it so happens that this year Chet is technically a rookie this year, right, in the NBA.
Right.
So he's playing. If you look at Paolo's numbers, they're outstanding for the Magic. He is their main guy. He's killing it. So I think there's still a lot of demand, and then at the same time, I mean, when we get these high-end products, it's just another chance to get those veteran logo mans that you didn't get in the last product or whatever.
Yeah, and I'm looking at it now. It looks like there is a LeBron James logo man, 1-1. There is Embiid, Kyrie Irving.
So these type of things, they're always going to be, it don't matter when you're releasing these things. People are going to want to get another chance at chasing these because you only get a couple chances a year. That's also what plays into it too, right? When Flawless comes out, Immaculate comes out, NT comes out, that's your time to go after these veteran logo mans.
Definitely. And also the NBA, like we were talking about off air, lots of guys scoring lots of points lately too.
It's a good time.
Yeah.
It's a good time right now for the NBA. 73 for Luka. By the way, were you the guys that were yelling at Luka to get back on the treadmill that got kicked out of the game? You or Doug or Dan? Were you one of those guys who were yelling at?
Okay,
just wanted to clarify.
Was it Dallas?
It was in Phoenix, so it's not that far.
Yeah, it was me.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to clarify. Yeah.
Scrub.
I mean, quite literally, the words that were used were, "Hey, scrub, get back on the treadmill."
Yeah, no,
and then Luka went, "You out of here. Get out of here."
Oh, yeah. Oh, I got kicked out. Is that the game that he scored 73?
It was the night before.
He probably
it was like
took
2 nights
75 shots that game, right? He's probably shooting 30%.
When he scored 73?
Yeah.
What was it? His shooting percentage was
super
insane.
efficient.
Yeah, he was
super efficient.
Crazy efficient.
That's like I know we're gonna get into it or whatever about what's going on or whatever, but it's like these guys also. It's not just the fact that like with Embiid's game specifically, he gets to the line a lot. But besides Embiid, like Luka was not. It wasn't from a lot of free throws, but he was busting shots all game.
He was.
You got to make them.
And they're the 7th seed, so I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah,
We're right down there. I mean, the Timberwolves, Nuggets, Thunder, Clippers.
Nobody
Kings,
decided to play defense on him.
They tried.
Oh, and guess who he did it against?
Sound like it.
They tried.
And guess who he did it against? Just to make it all the sweeter.
Trae Young
and the Atlanta Hawks.
Trae Young is not known for his defense.
Well, he wasn't guarding Luka.
Also not known for scoring 73 points in a game.
Trae Young probably will not be an Atlanta Hawk very, very much longer, right? Rumors going around that he's on the trading block. Rumors going around that he might be a Laker.
Oh God,
I haven't heard that one.
Dear God,
well,
if that ever
we got
happens.
that Fanatics 10 promo coming up, right? We gotta go get some 18-19.
Get that Luka.
Pay $7,000 a box.
I still
It's
can't.
readily available.
I still can't believe that has been
very
hit.
cheap.
Yeah.
And we could also get that 9-10
Take the amount that Lucas scored.
$35,000 and get that maybe superfractor.
Take the amount Lucas scored and then times that by 10,000, and that's basically how much a box of that
Maybe
is.
we should do a dual case break. 09-10 tops and a little 18-19 Prism.
Now you're talking.
On Fanatics Live?
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Auction style?
$10,000 a spot.
We should just dollar auction it.
By the way, because you know who else? It's Booker. What? Booker scored 62 last week. Is there anyone who has scored more 60-point games that is like? I don't know. I still don't think he gets the love he deserves because every time he does score 60, they end up losing. So it's kind of mind-boggling.
Booker?
Yeah, Booker.
I mean, Dak Prescott threw 400 yards.
I guess so.
Against the Packers.
I guess so.
They win, though. Yeah.
Wild times.
Yeah. So, check out those new releases, like I said, on Mojobreak.com. We'll also be doing that stuff on Fanatics. Diamond Icons will be available on Fanatics as well, Fanatics Live. So, check us out on both of those channels. And Week in the Hobby, looks like the Shohei Ohtani batting and Babe Ruth hitting, both batting, the batting version from Definitive sold for how much now?
I believe it's 100 and let me double check the number. It's 6 figures, but I want to say it was like 130.
Which I believe that was the first one pulled, right?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm double checking right now.
And I think that's
well
the
over
one
6
you'd
figures,
want, right?
And it also, I that was a while ago. Where was that card hanging out?
By the way, it was not even the live card. It was the redemption
That was sold.
So it has not been redeemed, and then they sold it.
It was a 150-day auction on Golden.
They're waiting. They're waiting for Root to sign.
They
were waiting.
They had extended bidding for 5 days.
$113,460.
Is that a good price, guys?
I feel like it's a little steep because my issue Ruth autos they're pretty much in every product. Mm-hmm. So what is I know Ohtani's on it, but Ohtani is also in every product as well.
At some point, those Ruth autos are going to run out.
Will they?
Right? You would think.
They haven't, though.
There has to be. There's a finite amount of these.
He's been having some signing sessions. He's been putting.
The man's been off this earth for almost about 80 years.
But I don't think there was an autograph that he would turn down. He's like, I will sign everything.
Oh, did you see? I think it was on X a couple weeks ago. His granddaughter was at a card show signing his cards.
Oh, that's kind of fun.
Oh, is that fun?
Sure. I mean, it's
not
her
name or
it's
his
her
name?
It's her name. It's fine.
Whoa,
we'll get into. I mean, it wasn't like the scenario that we'll get into in a little bit here with the former player getting his dad to sign stuff.
Yeah, so we got that. That's a crazy thing. I wouldn't have thought it got to 6 figures, but
I'm actually not surprised. I think 6 figures was totally this feels right to me. I don't know, because I just think it is a super unique card. There's nothing quite like it. The player that Ohtani is most compared to. It's a piece of history.
Comes out next year.
Truly a piece of history. Now, if that happens, then it's a little weird. Then,
I think $70,000.
Yeah.
I think not that that's where I'm at as a buyer, but
that's a fair price.
That's what I would think. I think
there's still the pitching one if you still
I
want
know.
to buy for $70.
Now that one I
people
do
sliding
wonder
into my DMs.
I wonder where that goes. If the hitting
one
was
of our customers hit it. I don't know if he's waiting to redeem it. Not from us, but
right.
I bet
it's about. I bet that one is in that area, 70 to 80 for the.
So we're gonna put. Is this because this one went for a premium because it was the first one on the market?
I think because it's the hitter
because
one.
It was the hitting one.
It's the hitting one,
or a combination of both.
And it's Yankees. It's not Red Sox.
Ruth on the Yankees.
Yankees and hitting.
Sense. Yeah. The Red Sox one's cool, but not necessarily
still
the same.
Ruth.
Yeah,
it's the same guy.
Ohtani.
It's the same guys. You're right. It shouldn't matter.
Probably like in 50 years, we'll probably be out of Babe Ruth autos, right? About 50 years. Probably.
You would think.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, well, unless we just start taking them out of these cards and just repurposing them, and then we just have an endless supply forever and ever.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I know that the hobby, we've got authenticators.
No, it's not that. It's pretty plausible.
Steve Grad's been very vocal. He just went after somebody on, I guess, Roberto Clemente, who had a 2 or 3 year span where he had a guy signing, for him. Right. Like you get a mail, like it would be like one of those through the mail things. Like, hey, Roberto Clemente, big fan, would love to have your autograph. This guy, it became overwhelming for Clemente, so he hired a guy to be his assistant, sign the auto, kind of mimicked his auto. Steve Grad knows which ones are, real versus fake, but they're really hard to tell. Babe Ruth has that same kind of scenario with a secretary, that signed a lot of his autos as well. So that's where it gets a little murky. If you're really, really concerned about its true authenticity, was it really signed by him? I guess it doesn't matter in the grand scheme of a card selling for $120,000. Doesn't even matter. But
so without a doubt, in our industry, there's probably been. It'd be impossible to basically say there's no secretary signed autographs that have been embedded in cards.
Correct.
That it's had to happen, right?
Yep.
It has with the amount of Ruth cut autos that we've had in the last 20 years. They all can't be Ruth.
And I'm not.
Well, wasn't there a thing last year?
Yeah.
Wasn't there one last year that happened and it was verified?
Right. Well, and that's the thing. Like they aren't using, and I think Fanatics is doing a better job of this. But you've had, in the early 2000s, you've had Fleer, you've had, Panini, or you've had Playoff, you've had these guys. Who's to say that they're like, oh, cool, that looks pretty legit on eBay for $1,000. This Babe Ruth auto, I'm gonna, to my eye, looks like his auto. I'm gonna buy it, and then I can self-authenticate anything that I buy, because there's no JSA, PSA, no third-party authenticator on there. It's authenticated by the manufacturer. The manufacturer saying to the best of their ability they feel like this is his autograph. Right. So are they as good as, like, say, a Steve Grad or a James Spence who's been seeing the autos over and over again? I don't know, but. It would be maybe an extra level of security to buy the ones that have been duly authenticated. I don't know, but that's doesn't affect the value apparently. So let's get into this Panini story. So Panini is sponsoring the NBA Rising Stars event at the All-Star Game. So first time that I can remember that they have had their name attached to an event like this. So to me, this is like, hey, we ain't going down. We ain't going down without a fight. We're getting our name in there.
No, they fighting for sure.
Mm-hmm. I mean, and that can't be cheap, right? I mean, that's not like,
what,
like a $5,000.
Is that like
event.
the rookie? Is that the rookie game?
Sophomores, okay. And they just added as well G League players.
Nice.
That you can shoot. They'll be like draft. Like I think they'll comprise the teams of a mix of rookies, sophomores, and G League.
Oscar Thompson was Ignite, but Kuminga was G League, right?
Was he ever G League? Was Kuminga ever G League? I don't know. Mac McClung's on the G League one.
Right.
Remember him? Yeah. Dunk contest winner, Mac McClung. We all went nuts for him. Haven't heard from him.
So, I mean, I don't know. You don't know the politics behind all of this, where Panini could be like, hey, we're still talks with the NBA. Like, you know what? We still want to make cards. Like, is there any way that we could somehow still get this license, still be able to make it beyond our contract year, that's up. So it's a good sign if you don't like monopolies. If you're like for monopolies, you're like, screw Panini. You're like, I want monopoly. But like for this, it's a good sign. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think it's a good move by Panini. Obviously, to the average person, they'll probably look at that and be like, Panini Rising Star game. They don't want to even think twice about it. But for us, we know that's Panini still fighting, still trying to get in with the NBA, right, or maneuver some way with the NBA and do business with them still. So, yeah,
because if you're a company that's like, 2 years from now, we're not even worry about NBA cards. You're not spending money on this. You're like, we're cutting the cost back and going to make another product.
You're doing it. You're doing it to kind of leverage your brand, and there's a strategy behind what they're doing for sure. I don't know. I don't know what it means. I mean, we can sit here and speculate. Like, I think we all would like to see multiple manufacturers with a license. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think from a collector standpoint, that's the best case scenario.
Oh, we didn't even happen to mention that Leaf purchased Press Pass.
That's right. The Press Pass.
No, they're still purchasing brands, huh?
Which actually one of the greatest, I think, NASCAR products of all time. Back in the
5-star.
5-star racing was a pretty nice product, I thought. We only had a couple boxes back in the day, but it's a fun rip. Had some nice book cards, really good memorabilia. Almost more like the Prime that's coming out, but on a high-end version. They did a really good job of that. So we'll see what that – it's becoming increasingly hard, I think, for Press Pass and Leaf to be able to get early products and make them. So joining forces probably makes it a little easier, because with all the exclusives, you've heard Brian Gray come out there and say Fanatics has already signed Caleb Williams. Fanatics has already signed Bo Nix, or whoever these guys are already signing. So these guys will not be able to live in these products, these early pre-draft airbrush products. So Press Pass probably smart to say like, hey, we don't want to compete with you. You can try to do it. So
it's like they're almost going to have to like speculate and get a lot of these players earlier. Like,
oh yeah,
they're going to have to start getting freshman year, like freshman year in college. Like you're gonna have to start signing these guys.
You're already seeing Fanatics. Remember, we were talking about. I think it was like 2 players.
Go to middle schools,
right? That were in there were high school recruits. There were high school prospects. They've already signed these guys. That's what they're gonna have to do.
Johnny can rake off that T there. Better sign him to a NIL deal.
They're gonna be waiting in the delivery room, be like, all right, yep. Oh, he's in the top 1 percentile. Yep. All right, let's sign him.
Oh,
Ink that deal, baby.
Ink that deal.
Could you just see
Congratulations. Here's a deal for, I don't know, $1,500 for you.
Baby footprint. They're just like
wow, it's a pretty big foot you got there.
That right there, that's a day-old footprint. You want prospecting, that's prospecting.
Yep.
Dude, could
Put
you
that
imagine?
in your collection.
Could you imagine? Wait, there's a 7 foot 11-year-old. All right, where? Okay, all right.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say a 7 foot baby.
7 foot baby.
He's playing he's in middle school, right? Okay, all right. Then the car. So how many Squishmallows and Roblox can we get to go ahead and ink this deal? How many Roblox gift cards is it going to take for you to sign a 15-year contract with Press Pass and Leaf? How much? How many Squishmallows? All right. A truck of Squishmallows? All right, come on. All right. That's what we got.
Yeah, they're going to be offering 4-year-olds the unreleased Bluey episodes for a chance to ink a Fanatics deal early.
I guess that's the big. I was like, Tickle Me Elmo, is that a thing?
Yeah.
No, Elmo's still around, but
How many Furbies do I got to give you to?
Oh, you'll know the whole lingo here in a couple years.
Oh, yeah.
You'll know what Roblox and
Yeah.
Can I buy this app for $75?
Especially your son. Yeah, he gonna want all the electronic gaming stuff.
Oh,
for
yeah.
sure.
It's coming.
Yeah, like a year's supply of Madden Ultimate Team, or freaking, I don't know, Twitch for life. You're a Twitch streamer. I don't know.
There you go.
That
would work. Yeah.
UFC is back with Tops. That happened fast. I think we just had UFC
So
Immaculate.
fast.
So we've got,
and they got it ready too, because apparently it's coming out at the end of this next month or something.
Yeah,
right?
it's coming up very soon.
Yep. I just, it's wild. It happened quick, and WWE may be following. I know there's been some litigation there, but are you excited? I mean, you're the resident UFC guy here more than any of us in this room. Are you excited about it?
I'm always excited for new UFC and WWE products. I love both brands. So, we all know before pre-2020, Topps had the UFC license, had the WWE license.
Conor McGregor.
They came out with a lot of products for both brands to not much fanfare.
Yeah, we didn't break much.
We tried to. I was doing like half case chrome, maybe full case chrome, trying to push it for like $20-$30. They're not really selling.
I feel like it's like a refresher, right? Like, WWE or UFC came out with Prism the first year. It was like insane, $1,000 a box. And then the second year came out and nobody wanted it. Now it's like, well, we haven't had Chrome in a while, so this is going to be the first back of Chrome. So it's going to be like technically the first Chrome. So now I got to buy the first edition again. And you know what I mean? And then, it's like all these other brands like Finest will come out. UFC Finest will have, probably Stadium Club, UFC.
I know that when they had the UFC brand before, obviously Topps is under a new regime with Fanatics, but when they had the UFC brand before losing it again to Panini, they were doing some like off the wall brands. Like they were really trying to
like Bloodline.
They were really trying to make specific UFC brands.
I don't remember which product it was, and I think it was Topps. They did the mouth guard cards.
Yeah.
The used mouth guard. It was encapsulated. Real thick card, but it was match used.
So that makes me hopeful that, and I've been talking about this a lot on stream lately too. That makes me hopeful, like also when they get the NFL license, the NBA license, it's not just like let's just make Chrome, let's just make Finance, let's just make Stadium Club, let's just make Triple Threads. Let's come up with some new IPs here.
I think they're going to use the old IPs for a while.
You got to warm everyone up.
I think they're going to. I could guarantee you there will be Chrome everything.
Oh yeah,
Chrome,
of course, yeah.
Like they're not going to be like, oh, football Chrome. Nah, let's come up with something new. No, Chrome.
No, I expect that. But I'm just hoping like what they did before with UFC, like they create like specific products just for UFC. That'd be nice.
Panini doesn't do it.
Yeah, they didn't really.
They believe that every single IP can cross over into every single category.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And I've been saying
you don't want to
it
have to do extra Photoshop.
I've been saying it for a decade. I'm like, sometimes select doesn't work for every single category.
Yeah.
But they're like, Dan, you shut up, because it does. Everybody loves select.
You take that mosaic baseball and you'll like it. Oh.
That one hurts.
That one hurts me. Yeah.
No, but you got that guy.
brand.
You got that guy. You're paying, maybe 6 figures. That's doing the Photoshop work. He's got to do less Photoshopping, less hours. If he just reuses the design and just crops out John Jones on there and Conor McGregor and who else that UFC has.
Yeah, and I'm imagining for Topps especially, man, they're gonna be juggling a lot more brands than they've been used to for decades, right? They're gonna be in a couple years. They're gonna be juggling not only the UFC, WWE, the NBA, NFL, MLB. It's a lot of work.
Well, I would say with UFC, what it definitely needs out of the gate is scarcity. So hopefully when Chrome comes out,
kind of like F1,
they don't make an absolute crap ton of it. And I think if they do that, they can build momentum that way. And like you're saying, like the first time they made F1 Chrome, they didn't make a lot of it.
They make a lot of it, yeah.
I think that's key. If they basically make a crap ton, then and honestly, like, who are you chasing right now? Who is the new young guy?
There's a couple guys, but there's nobody as big as who you're thinking about. Like there's no Conor McGregor. There's no,
like, UFC is very similar to the other categories. You're based on like who is hyped, who is the rookie you're chasing.
Yep.
And if there's no big standout star that you're going to be chasing, then the products are not going to do well.
Yeah.
So this probably means WWE is coming soon. Do they come
100%.
out? Do they come out with a Vince McMahon transcendent? Is that where you get to?
Ooh. That has been thrown in the garbage, and they burned the garbage can.
Vinnie Mac,
and
I
then
love
they
you.
threw the burnt garbage can into the ocean. For no one to ever see
Like the 52
again.
Tops.
Bye-bye. See you later.
Man.
Don't let the door hit you, Vince.
Hey, it's innocent until proven guilty, man.
What happened?
What
happened to Vince
We
McMahon?
can talk about it. It ain't good.
I
Vinnie
know.
Mac.
I'm just being a smart ass.
Anyway.
He also was he was in the WWE transcendent they had a couple years ago, and I always thought he had a lazy auto. He just did like the VM real quick.
He got his B's, and he's out here both.
Yeah.
Billions and another one.
And the Big Show.
Yeah.
The Big Show. Big fan of the Big Show, apparently. Anyways, we'll go ahead and move on, and we'll rank. Or actually, we're going to talk about some fake autos, and this we don't have to spend too much time on this story, but it is something eye-opening for the hobby. So, a former prospect who never, I don't think he played an MLB game.
He did not.
But he had an autograph deal to sign something like 2,000 autographs. He was, Robbie Rowe was his name. He was on a stream opening up some baseball cards with his dad, who happened to play 6 seasons with the Red Sox and Tigers. Or no, is that his dad, Rich Rowland? Rich
Rowland, his dad, does videos with him, and and was with his dad. He's like, hey, we got some mail. It's some cards, both for him and for his dad. And they signed it. And in the middle of opening the cards, just in an offhand comment, like not meant to be this big revealing thing, just said, hey, you remember the first time I signed my first deal, and they gave me about 2,000 of these cards to sign. And it was just too much, and I gave you about 1,000 to sign. So his dad signed about, you could say, about 1,000 of maybe his first cards. And it caused an
argument that it would be more valuable to get his dad's autograph since he actually was a professional ball player?
Yeah, you could.
Like in the majors?
You could.
So, at the time, you didn't know if Robbie was going to be better than...
Came up.
By the way, the video, which he doesn't get a ton of views, it's like more of like a personal vlog that he's got for his own entertainment purposes, was starting to get up there. He only gets a few hundred, and that was definitely outpacing a few of his videos, and he did go on to delete the video. So
interesting.
I think this to me speaks of, and there was things you guys were even talking about earlier, where I think there is still, as big as this industry is, from our perspective and all that, I think there are still guys like that who are like, they don't understand that is like that how that's going to be perceived. They're just kind of like, whatever. I'm just a dude.
It's done.
Ironically, I just looked it up. He has sticker autos in 2010 Donruss Elite, which is one of the first packs I would buy going back into the card shop, which also has the Magic Johnson Travis Swaggerty situation. So don't know how it got messed up, but Travis Swaggerty, or Jordan Swaggerty, not Travis.
Jordan Swaggerty.
Jordan Swaggerty, who was a Cardinals prospect at the time. The autograph on the Jordan Swaggerty cards were Magic Johnson sticker. So they were worth a lot more. So Panini goofed somehow and had those stickers on the wrong spot. Yeah. But he's in that same set. That's where I see most of his autos.
Because, Jordan Swaggerty only cost them like $1 or something.
Right. And then I'm sure Magic was significantly more than that. So it's ironic that it's that set I'm looking at where his cards are. But
have you searched for the Jordan Swaggerty 2010 Elite card?
I haven't in a while. I used to be really interested in that because I had one.
What if it's $1 auto? That's came up.
Yeah. I think most people have labeled it Magic Johnson. Yeah, see, Jordan Swaggerty, Magic Johnson.
$250?
Asking, yeah.
Is that graded?
Graded, yeah.
Wow.
What's funny is they even signed the Sun Devil ones, which that doesn't even make any sense to me. Why would Magic did not play for the Arizona Sun Devils, correct?
He did not.
Okay.
Wait, Magic? That's Magic Auto too?
Yeah, and it's a collegiate patch. Unless they put the patch on after the white was signed.
That doesn't make any sense.
Magic's like, whatever. Just
you pay me $50.
Or like somebody says in this industry, it was just genius marketing. Give that guy a raise. Give that guy a raise. That did the Jordan Swaggerty back in 2010.
Yeah.
But Chris Perez, former Indian, I guess I could safely say that because they were the Indians back then. He says on the back of Topps autos, it says everything signing is witnessed by Topps executives, something along those lines. I can say this is 100% false. They sent me a paper for me to sign saying it was me signing the cards, not a representative watching me. Now, maybe if you're signing with Trout, Ichiro, or Ohtani, they send somebody out there to watch you. But, if you're, no disrespect to the great Chris Perez or Robbie Rowland, I don't think they could travel out to, 7,000 different places to get autographs. So you guys get stickers.
Can we just do Zoom now? Can't you
You could.
Can't you just Zoom? Hey, I'm representative of Topps. Can you Zoom me in while you're signing these autographs?
And I mean, yeah, that seems like the easy fix. Now, I don't think this is sounding the alarm this is not sounding the alarm at Panini Topps right now. Like they're like, no, we're still very confident that this is the way we've been doing is probably fine. If another player comes out and is saying the same thing, if the infamous Lulus turn out to actually be Luka's mom,
well,
then we've got a problem.
Well, if Luka came out and he's like, I didn't sign those.
Yeah,
then it would be a big.
Well,
it would be
it
would have to be a marquee player, like somebody that people have dumped a crap ton of money on, Trout, Ohtani,
that's what
Curry.
it's going to take.
But another thing, and we've talked about this on other shows, is the manufacturers do have this affidavit. So when these autos get turned back in, they have a signed copy saying that this is my signature. I personally signed this card. So if you're a POS and you have your brother sign for you, that should give your fans a little bit of this guy's cutting corners for his fans. So, I mean,
yeah,
and I understand maybe when you're Robbie Rowland and you're out there trying to, make the team and maybe you don't have time for those dollar autos that you got. Whatever, but if you're Mike Trout, you kind of think these people are going to look at this card. People are going to love looking at this card, and I want to do my best job to perform, what I've been paid for the collector.
And that's the thing is that I think part of why he deleted the videos, there were people commenting going, "Hey, this is technically a breach of contract, what you're admitting right now. I'd be careful about what you're saying." So yeah, that's a guy like him, and that's probably why I deleted the video. A guy like him is not going to have the same ability to fight this in court. I mean, doubtful that Topps would ever take it to court. Panini take it to court.
Well, I mean, I brought this up a lot. You have relationships with these players as a manufacturer. You have relationships with their team. You have relationships with the Players Association. you don't want to make an example and go out suing these players because other players are going to be like, I don't want to sign his contract.
Unless you're Michael Rubin.
Or the Players Association is going to be like, you know what? We're done with this. Like, that's great. You make cards. Our players aren't signing these cards. You just sued one of our guys. We're done.
Yep. Yeah. No, and that's exactly it. I mean,
you gotta be careful.
And I think there's a little bit more clout with the way Fanatics is doing things because the memorabilia deals and stuff, so they can be a little bit more harsh. But at the end of the day, they need these guys to sign as well. But in the world of like what we do, like I signed a potentially $48,000 away by the click of a DocuSign. So you know what I mean? Like I put my signature on something that I didn't fully read, and I potentially lost $48,000 on it. We'll see, but that's a whole other story for another day. But you know, that's how easy it is to put your autograph on something, right? Without like, you know,
we're not legal. We're not losing $48,000. I'll tell you right now.
No,
don't worry. Mojobreak is open for business. We're just fine.
Don't worry. I'm on it.
No, it's regarded a lease at a sub office, anyways. To tell you a long story short,
but I will say DocuSign has made it extremely easy to sign contracts without really reading every single word. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's just too easy now. It's like it almost kind of like directs you to do that exact same thing. It's like, okay, just initial here, initial here, initial here, initial here, you're done.
All right. Well, we had some teams that did not make it to the Super Bowl. We talked about the Super Bowl earlier in the show. And, you know, we've got this graphic up of Lamar, C.J. Stroud, Dak, and Goff. Which player do you guys think improved their standing in the hobby, and which one will take the biggest dive?
Yeah, and this is, by the way, beyond just the folks you're seeing on the graphic, just in general, the playoff losers here.
The youngest cat is the one that benefits the most.
Yeah, of course.
Because he's the new young.
Stroud will be fine.
That's pretty obvious, right? CJ Stroud is fine.
Yeah, the only one.
Yeah.
Goff, nobody cared about anyway. Right. Like, who was going out and prospecting Jared Goff? Eminem. But like, I mean, that would even Goff's prices went up a little bit, but
not much.
They didn't go up as much as they were in 2016.
His stuff was pretty much all season long, even as the Lions kept winning. Him and Dak were basically about the same in terms of price.
Which you wouldn't think so, actually. You would
think Dak would be more, but I think Cowboy fans have, and the hobby in general, pretty much given up on Dak Prescott.
Yeah, the auto pin god. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I don't even know where he goes this offseason. Like, I don't think he's a Cowboy.
You think he's gone?
I think he's gone. I think McCarthy's staying. It was make a decision between the two.
No, I think that was a joint deal.
Maybe. I think he's gone.
Is it time?
I think he's gone.
Is it time for Trey Lance?
Yeah, I do.
I think they're going to give Dak another chance.
Where does Dak go?
Like what?
Like
what's
Washington?
They're going to give Dak another chance.
What's the definition of insanity? Trying the same thing again, even though you know, like doing the same thing over and over again, getting the same result.
But was Dak the problem? He was in the MVP,
right? And I'm not even saying like I think he goes to a team and makes them better. I do. But clearly, like, and again, this is why football it's so fun and so infuriating at the same time, is that he can have an MVP season like that, and then one game in the playoffs, and we all can say, yeah, he's not the dude. And I think most people go, yeah.
But I guess it's year after year after year after year of failing in the playoffs and having such a great regular season. It's just... It's tough. I've been there with Jimmy Garoppolo every year. It's like you get there and it's like you just can't perform when the lights are on. It's just you can't get the job done. And then this year you're playing a 7th seed. Huh? Got you in there.
Let's put it this way.
But see, that's the difference. Jimmy got us to the Super Bowl, but Shanahan got us to the Super Bowl this year. So, I mean, you know.
Not Brock Purdy?
Not Brock. Well, that's what I'm playing on the narrative. I don't believe that.
I'm sorry to be that guy. I'm a Niner fan, and I did that. Well, I actually want to, like, Dak.
It's exhausting.
I'm staying on Dak. If Dak was a Raider, if the Raiders signed Dak Prescott.
I love Brock Purdy. He's the most elite quarterback I've ever seen.
How would you, C-Rat, how would you feel?
I can't believe how good he is.
How would I feel?
Dak Prescott is a Las Vegas Raider.
I'd feel great.
Okay. But is there a little part of you that would go, okay. Okay. Like, let's see.
Yeah, I mean,
There's like a little part of
Who would you want, Kirk Cousins or Dak Prescott?
Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
No, I don't know.
Dude,
I'd rather have Dak.
The amount that you hate Kirk Cousins,
I like Kirk Cousins either.
like, I don't understand.
He's your daddy's quarterback, and I don't mean that in a good way. I don't mean that in a good way. He is old school.
But
when
I
it
thought you were
comes
gonna say
to the
he's
way
old.
he plays.
He's vanilla, baby.
When he comes to the way he plays, he is old school. And I don't mean that in a good way.
I would be if I was a team that needed a quarterback and Kirk Cousins is an option, sign me up.
I forgot he's a free agent this
Yeah.
offseason, isn't he?
And if he doesn't get hurt, he's always in the top 10
You know what?
of everything.
Most fun would be Vikings and Cowboys. Just swap QBs. Let's see what happens.
But it's a possibility.
Let's have fun. Yeah.
I think Cowboys are keeping Dak for sure.
But
Yeah, maybe.
Washington's going to need a quarterback, right?
Washington maybe
Kirk
depends on
going
how they
back
feel
to
about
Sam
Howell.
Howell. Sam Howell's not bad.
Depends on how they feel about Howell.
Like that?
Raiders need a QB. Maybe depends how you feel about
can't
AFC.
say-
Raiders are getting Russell Wilson.
You can't say. Raiders are probably getting Russell Wilson.
So Denver might need a QB.
You like that?
John Elway.
John Elway.
John Elway.
Yeah, right at this point.
He's
Who
all
else?
look, I figured it out.
Maybe Arizona.
Maybe Arizona.
Maybe.
I mean, Kyler showed a little bit.
Kyler as a Raider.
I'm not mad at it.
Or Justin Fields is a Raider?
No, I think the Bears they put out a QB1 thing the other day of a highlight reel of Justin Fields. So cryptically, that's our guy. So all signs point to that.
I thought they were trying to draft a quarterback.
If they are not going to go Caleb Williams, then the Bears have to trade out of that top spot.
They're
right?
going
What
to
are they
trade
doing
out.
with their number one spot?
They're going to trade out. I guarantee it.
Okay.
They have to trade out. I mean, Marvin Harrison Jr. would be the pick for them,
It has to be.
but I don't think the first overall pick. I think they'd be out of their minds to do that.
I'm curious where we stand on Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen. Both.
Ooh, yeah.
I mean, Lamar's
Let's
probably
talk
your
about
MVP. Josh Allen played really well in what was ultimately a loss. Like, again, there's nothing. You can't hate on that performance. Lamar looked worse, but you could also say Zay Flowers doesn't do that taunting penalty, doesn't fumble the ball in the end zone. We might be having a completely different conversation.
It's one of those things. Like, take your fandom out of it, and I'll take mine as well. Like, if tomorrow it's like, all right, the Bills and the Rams made a trade and they traded Matt Stafford for Josh Allen, I'd be like, let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I would say the same thing if if my team got Lamar Jackson, I'd be
Yeah, I mean,
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like if the Raiders,
Which every team had a chance to do.
if
This
the
offseason,
Ravens were
no
like,
one
we're
did.
taking Aiden O'Connell and we're going to give you Lamar Jackson.
You're like, yeah,
Let's go.
How quick can I sign that contract?
And I think Lamar gets his second MVP, even though he probably shouldn't, but like he will get his second MVP this year. So.
He should. He should.
What did he?
He deserves it.
What? He didn't do anything to not deserve it.
It's too bad it's a regular
that
season.
whooping on the
Yeah.
49ers was a stamp on it. You know, like
It was,
and
and that's where I lost $6,000. But it's because I bet 200 on Brock Purdy, anyways. Whatever. It was a good upside. But yeah, he's gonna get it. And
You didn't lose 6,000. You just lost 200.
I lost 200. I had that 6,000 I already spent, man. I mean, just like everybody else.
You had it all. You had the
You were gonna
had the
dump it
flight
into the.
You had the flight to
Super Bowl
Hawaii.
fund.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
I get it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think in terms of the value of the hobby, man, they're both 2018 rookies. Man, it's really tough because like at this point, see, like it's crazy because Lamar Jackson has 2 MVPs, Josh Allen has none, and they both have been bounced out of the playoffs multiple times now, right?
Well, that's the thing. What's the difference between Dak and Josh Allen at this point, from a playoff perspective?
Dak's been failing for longer.
Yeah.
Oh, I would take Josh Allen over Dak Prescott.
I mean,
in
yeah.
a second.
All 4 of us would, I think.
Let's see their
right?
records.
I also Baker Mayfield is a Raider.
Little
Ooh.
Bake.
I think he
No
stays
way.
in Tampa.
I think he deserves a contract.
But like,
and-
there is still something there with Josh Allen where you're like, I think there's another level here. Whereas I think we have seen exactly who Dak Prescott
I
is.
think we've gotten the best of Dak Prescott.
Exactly. We have seen where this we have reached the limit of where this
honestly,
can take us here.
I could see Josh Allen winning a Super Bowl at some point. I can't say the same about Dak Prescott.
Think about all the problems that roster had this year, that Bills team had this year. Like, and the fact that they still took the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes down to the wire is pretty incredible. So, yeah, I'm still willing to bet that Josh Allen.
Josh Allen's
and frankly, Lamar Jackson.
4-4. So he's good for one victory and then usually one loss every year. So since 2020, I believe, is when they made it. So
for a playoffs record.
Yeah. What about
our boy Dak?
The worst thing.
I don't think Dak has a lot of victories in the playoffs.
I don't think he's 500.
2-5.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I don't think he's 500.
2-5. So actually, they
worst
played about
record.
the same amount of playoff games.
They played the same amount of playoff games, but Dak got in here 2 years earlier. So.
Yeah.
The worst thing you can really say about both Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen, who I think we all agree, incredibly talented, all have great players who will be great for a long time. They just happen to be playing, just like we said with Tom Brady, when all those Peyton Mannings and all the great quarterbacks, they just happen to be playing at the same exact time as Patrick Mahomes, and
I was
there's
gonna
just
say
nothing
earlier,
they can do
when
about
you mentioned
that.
What's the definition of insanity? Thinking you're gonna be Patrick Mahomes.
Well, and honestly, Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes the Patrick Mahomes that we know if Andy Reid is not the one pulling the strings.
The man who took a chance on him to begin with.
You put Patrick Mahomes on the Panthers and say he was drafted by the Panthers and he's been a Panther the whole time. We're not talking about Super Bowls. We're not talking about MVPs.
Possibly.
I give as much credit to Andy Reid developing Patrick Mahomes as I do.
Well, I'll tell you
Mahomes.
what, Andy Reid ain't going to be kicking or going for it on 4th and 2 when you can get a chip shot field goal. I'll tell you that much. Andy Reid's going to take the points.
It was a 42. It wasn't really a chip. It was a 42.
Although recently, Chiefs have been taking a lot more chances recently.
And they didn't. They took a lot of fourth down attempts in that AFC Championship game as well. There was a lot of them.
I think it's going to depend on the yardage.
And look at the difference.
4th and 1, 4th and 2, they're probably going to go for it.
Their fourth down chances worked for the most part in the AFC Championship game.
What's the point?
And they didn't.
What's the point of having kickers if we're just going to go for it all the time?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's more fun.
I know. Did anybody have a press conference with the Lions kicker after the game? Was there any?
Michael Badgley?
I wonder how he felt about the.
He was like,
he gets no say.
I would have made at least one of them.
Well, what's crazy is what if they did convert on one of those? I mean, it would have been a different game. But then the second time, would he have went for the field goal? You know what I mean? Was it the fact that he's because it's both of them are, I think, about 50%. At that point of the game, it's a 50% chance you're going to get a first down. Maybe even better than that with the 4th and 2. So he's probably the odds say that I missed the last one. I got to go for it again to even out the odds. It just didn't work. But
what's the definition of insanity again?
Doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result.
Yeah, but you could flip a coin 10 times.
Okay, so for me,
don't throw the ball to stone hands Josh Reynolds.
For me, the first one was kind of understandable because at that game at that point they were dominating the game, right?
But they could have been at 3 scores at that point of the game and matched what we just did.
Yeah,
we just kicked the field goal.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Dan Campbell, I don't know if he calls the offense, but he outcoached himself. You've been running the ball with no issues, right? And then all of a sudden,
which is the 49ers' weakness.
All of a sudden, you're we're going to run the ball with St. Brown?
Right.
Did David Montgomery racking up 9 yards a carry? Was that a bad... What are you doing?
There is something to be said about doing what got you there. And that, there is something about building that confidence and doing what got you there and keep going with it.
The conversation at halftime with Dan Campbell should have been we did run the ball a lot. We're going to run it even more.
Keep running the ball. And especially when you're up by 17, keep running the ball. Eat the clock.
That really worked really well.
Yeah.
They're probably going to think we're going to run the ball, so I'm going to
right.
outcoach it, and now we're going to throw the ball.
He outcoached himself, you're right.
That mentality, too, to go for it on 4th down, that doesn't, when you're up 24-7, why does that matter anymore? At that point, just run the clock out. When you have a chance to score points, score points.
Points are still good.
Listen,
points are good, yeah.
Points are still good.
They left, 6 points on the board
Points are
minimum.
good. Points are good. You want to get as many... Little John Madden, you want to score more points than the opposing team.
Right.
At the same time, dude, let's be fair. Like if they were to just stick to the game plan, run in that second half, you always know the narrative.
Right.
When a team is just protecting their lead.
Oh
in the
yeah,
second
yeah,
half,
Yes.
awful.
How many times?
They're all looking just playing to not lose the game at this point.
Hey,
As
when
much
you're,
as I
when you're
love-
when you're the winning team, that's what you want your team to do.
But well, I'll say as much as I loved the Harbaugh years, my biggest gripe during the Harbaugh years was the man when he had a lead did not play to win. He played to not lose.
Yeah,
and it's frustrating.
And the thing
But
is,
it doesn't
is that-
work out. It's
but
frustrating.
if it works out, it's great. If it doesn't, it's low hanging fruit. You can go after it and be like, well, if you didn't play so conservative, we would have won the game.
Yeah. Yep.
You're like damned if you do, damned if you don't.
If anything, I gave you guys your coach credit at least now, the 49ers, that he got over that whole stigma where he couldn't come back in the
He did it twice in a row.
Yeah, twice in a row.
He did it twice in a row. Yeah. I mean, he was like 40, like 0-40, like
Now he's
crazy.
2-40.
Now he's like, I was like, man, I'm like, it's kind of crazy that he did get that stigma off of him.
Yeah.
I don't want to speak too soon. We still got one big game to get that stigma fully off of him.
Well, I mean, you don't want to get into a habit of trailing in the fourth quarter either.
Yeah,
like you're like, we got you right where we want you.
I'd like that to stop.
That's usually
let's try to go for 24 points.
That's
down
usually
this
the
time.
Mahomes special to come back on your ass.
I will tell you though, the only time I will ever feel safe in this Super Bowl if we have a lead is if we're up by 45 points with 2 minutes left. That's the only time I'll be like, okay, we got it. Maybe we got it. And then I'll be doing the math and be like, well, if he scores it every 10 seconds.
If he's good.
Don't worry. In the Slack, you guys are going to get a first down. I'm like, well, congrats on your guys' Super Bowl win. Congrats.
Yeah,
dude. If anything, if I were a Niner fan and I was watching this game, I almost want to see Chiefs have a slight lead at halftime or something like that. Like a 3-point lead.
Dude, Mahomes makes you play
We've been here
different.
before.
How many teams go for it on say it's 2.5 minutes left and you're only up by 3, and they're going for it because they don't want to kick the field goal to give it a 6-point lead and to give Mahomes 2 minutes.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's like he did it with Josh Allen. What was that? 10 seconds to get a field goal.
13
and he did
seconds.
It. Yeah, it was like 13 seconds.
It's just
like,
it's Brady all over again.
Like
it's
if you guys are leading like 7-point lead at halftime, I'd be worried. I'd be real big worried.
like I said, we're gonna have to be like a 40-point lead, and I'm still like, there's a whole half left. There's a whole half.
The only thing, I mean, I honestly, like, from an offensive standpoint, I don't think the Chiefs they obviously don't have the team that they had in the past.
Nope.
But this is the one time Mahomes actually has the best defense
Yes.
that he's ever had. Pacheco, serviceable. The issue is those receivers. Are those receivers going to be good enough? Minus Kelsey, but you don't know. Right. Kelsey goes down. Kelsey gets banged up or something, and then what are the options?
That game against Baltimore was the first really big game Kelsey's had in a few weeks.
He's pretty much sucked.
and they didn't blow him. They didn't blow him
He had
out.
like 100. He had like over 100 yards.
What was his
It was
score?
a huge game.
17
It was a
to 10?
huge game, but that was like
Besides
the
that
first,
Ravens
that's
game,
what I'm
though,
saying.
he sucked this year, dude.
Right, that's what I'm saying. This was a down year for him.
And
He sucked.
I mean, Greenlaw and Warner are probably going to be bumping him in the middle of the field, or covering him, depending on who they put on him. And, Charvarius Ward, former Chief, so he's going to be out there, playing with a little bit more extra grit.
Kelsey was maybe a top 20 tight end this year.
Yeah. Well, we done.
George Kittle. That was my first
That's your
round pick.
number one pick in the fantasy
Hey,
draft.
you know how the number one picks never pan out. I had
Unless you have McCaffrey.
I had Jonathan Taylor that year that he was the number one pick.
I had him too. Yeah, terrible.
Yeah, he was terrible. So.
Well, I mean, yeah, we'll see. I mean, we have 2 weeks.
We're gonna talk about it again next week.
We're gonna talk about it again next week.
Weeks.
A little bit more, probably be a little bit more analytical next week.
So Niner fans probably don't want it to come down to a Jake Moody field goal.
Oh no.
Oh, and before I go,
you guys gonna sweat.
Oh, Jake!
Crap.
Oh, God,
I don't want that, and I don't want 1 minute on the clock. It's a 6-point game, and Patrick Mahomes starts from the 30-yard line, his own 30. Oh, dear God, no. Oh, God.
Slow bleeding.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I mean, also, I do want to, and I know there's going to be some people in this room that disagree with this, but I heard the great, the legendary Dan Patrick petition Super Bowl Saturday. Super Bowl Saturday makes sense to me. They've already had 2 weeks off. Nobody goes to work on Sunday. We all have to go to work on Monday. Super Bowl Saturday makes sense, guys, doesn't it?
But let's not change tradition here.
That sucks. I don't like it.
No.
I don't like it at all. How about we do Super Bowl Monday or Super Bowl Thursday?
What we need to do is simply Super Bowl Sunday, and then as a holiday, Super Bowl Monday observed the following Monday.
That I can get behind.
That's what.
But don't Super Sunday. Not Super Saturday.
And all the parties are gone, and
But
you know.
I get it though, because people want to hang out. They want to party. They want to drink.
Yeah, and I've hosted some parties.
You can't go that hard because the next day is Monday.
Right.
You can now.
And I've hosted. I'm going to host my second party this year, and people are kind of like, no, I'm good, and I'm not, that guy. Like, but I'm having a good time.
They'll start tapping out at halftime.
Yeah, it's like, I got Monday. I got to be at work at 6 a.m., 5 a.m., I can't be eating too much or drinking too much. Where if it's Saturday, you could go back out after the game, go somewhere to celebrate.
Oh, yeah. So what are you guys going to do if the Niners win after the game?
Oh, man, I don't know. Run down the street naked. I don't know. Something. Streaking in the hallway. Yep. I don't know. I'll lose my mind. Cry. Well,
I know you guys will cry, obviously. That's
I was crying at the NFC Championship like a baby during that. Even though I've already experienced it several times.
Yeah, that was a good comeback win.
That's what it was. It was
cool.
the relief of like, oh my God, I can't believe they actually did
because
that.
I just felt bad for him.
I heard it was dead silent at halftime.
Oh, I could imagine. I mean, I was watching it at home, and I was just sitting there like, I was like, this. I was like, this game's not over. It's a 17-point lead. It's not a 35-point lead. This game is far from over. I'm like, the Niners get the ball to start the second half. This game is not over.
I was already looking up spring training packages. I don't know about you.
Trying to see Gardner Johnson like waving the fans like goodbye in the second quarter. I'm like, that's not going to age well.
Yeah, don't poke the bear.
I'm like, you're 17 points in an NFL game it's not a lot. 17 points with like 4 minutes left. I think
it was 17 points plus the fact that they looked so dominating.
That's what
in the first half. Like the Niners look like they didn't.
Do you think the Niners were going to go in and Kyle Shanahan's going to be like, well, we had a hell of a season, guys. Just we're done. We're done.
No. Wrap it up.
I knew.
Let's go home.
Let's go home.
Again, I said this off stream. I knew the Niners would make some type of comeback. I 100% knew that. 100% knew that. I just wasn't fully confident that they could come back and also win.
Well, 24-7, that's a pretty big lead at half. I mean, that's 17 points.
17 points but getting the ball first, you automatically can make it a 2-score game. Yeah. You have pretty much the whole rest of the game. The Niners did that. They went down and kicked the field goal. The correct move for Dan Campbell to do was when he was in field goal range after the Niners kicked that field goal is to kick a field goal, because knowing the Niners just went down and kicked a field goal, you don't swing the momentum with that 14.
Oh, and that's when the fans got into it, because like we got the field goal and you're like, okay, 14 points.
I thought it wasn't it not the fumble that really
well, that injected even more. Like obviously that was when we're like, now we might be able to win. But at that point you're like, they go for it and you're like, oh God, and they stop and the crowd's back into it. So that's what I was telling him off air. It's like that's the difference. If you're at home and you're doing that, you're probably not going to have as much momentum for the crowd because you're mostly your home fans.
They kick that field goal though, and it goes back up to 17. It's pretty demoralizing that the Niners went down.
I feel like
the game might be over.
Now you're at square one again, but now there's 6 minutes left in the third quarter.
And you put pressure on maybe Purdy to make a bad throw at that point because now they're playing.
And you don't swing the momentum. You basically they don't get better field position. The Niners don't get better field position by stopping them on fourth down. Like, Dan Campbell did not do anything to help his team win that
because
game.
there's just some teams, and I'm sorry Lions fans by saying this, but there's teams like the Bills and the Lions that you just know they're going to do stuff like this.
No, the Lions did Lions things.
Like, you don't see the Chiefs like go out there and be like, well, we're going to do something funny and lose
Not when it matters, yeah. Not when it matters.
Well, we'll let you guys digest on that for the week. Make sure you guys check out Mojobreak.com. Use that code at the beginning of the podcast to get in some breaks. Also, check out MojobreakShop.com, where we got the newest and greatest releases, always running sales. Always competitive on our pricing there if you just want to grab some sealed wax. And we'll see you guys next week on The Hype. Peace.
Peace.